This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, February 2nd. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from WKYC.com. And we start today with disturbing allegations. A Philadelphia Eagles player is no longer able to play in the Super Bowl as he's been indicted on a rape charge in Southeast Ohio. The backup offensive guard, Josh Sills, also faces a kidnapping charge. He's accused of holding a victim against her will and engaging in non-sexual contact back in 2019. Today, the New York Post reported that he's accused of forcing a woman to perform oral sex in his truck at 2 in the morning, leading to injuries in her throat and more. Sills is now scheduled to appear in a Guernsey County court later this month. Now in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland city leaders are stepping in to help the residents of a Shaker Square apartment building. Tenants say they are living in horrible conditions and their landlord isn't doing anything about it. Aubrey Buckley has the latest developments.
We deserve a chance and the opportunity to have safe, affordable, and clean, decent housing.
The calls to action continue at the residences at Shaker Square as tenants beg for better living conditions.
Just want to feel like a human being. That's all.
This time, city leaders are joining the fight.
This is probably one of the worst conditions that I've seen with an apartment building. And I can tell you that I am beside myself. I'm very angry.
Cleveland City Council members are demanding change and accountability alongside tenants, calling the property owners, the Chetrick group based in New York City, slum landlords, with some tenants saying they haven't had heat in 2 years.
We have been in and out of that office. We have been lied to, deceived. All they say is, it's going to be fixed. The plumber's coming. We got the heating people coming. Oh, it's going to be ready.
Council President Blaine Griffin says the city will seek a civil nuisance order for the building and push for receivership, giving control to another entity. He wants stricter code enforcement and says during next week's budget hearing, council will discuss ways to support deteriorating large buildings like this one around the city.
What's next is to continue to push this nuisance abatement action. I'd like to get the apartment out of their hands. And if they can't take care of it, then maybe we need to get it in the hands of somebody that can take care of it.
Just after the meeting, residents showed us a new leak in the garage. That's in addition to the water damage throughout the building, mold, untouched damage in some parts, and unfinished repairs in others. I tried to ask the property manager about all the issues.
Hi, we're with Channel 3.
But had the door slammed in my face. Similar to what tenants tell us they deal with on a daily basis.
You get tired of when something happens and you call the numbers they say and nobody even answers.
Thank you for that, Bree. Now, the owners have been charged with multiple city building code violations, and Councilmember Deborah Gray says she's going to New York City to confront the property owners herself. Now, Tyre Nichols was laid to rest yesterday afternoon in front of friends, family, and the nation. Meanwhile, here at home, just hours after Tyre Nichols' funeral, activists came together with a message of togetherness, plans for the future, and changes they want to see now. 3 News' Emma Henderson reports.
Mama! 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 Tyre Nichols' cry for his mother has now become a symbol for activists here in Cleveland.
Mama! Man! Mama!
A symbol of answering someone's cry for help whenever they're in need.
I watched it and I was compelled to do that because to hear, this man call out for his mama, that's what really compelled me to see that we're having another situation like George Floyd.
Dolores Gray says that cry was a big reason for meeting, saying it doesn't matter that Tyre Nichols died in Memphis.
We cannot stop. We cannot stop.
With the video being released, we're all witnesses to what happened, and it's time for there to be more unity among all of Cleveland's activist groups.
I really want to create a situation where we can work together, all activists, to come together and help families that are going through these types of situations.
And while she said police accountability is taking steps forward here with the new Civilian Review Board, there is one topic she would like to see addressed more for police.
I would like to see a resolve of more legislation in regards to making sure that the police are held accountable even more in regards to their psychological health. Mental health is very serious.
In Cleveland, Emma Henderson, 3 News.
Emma, thank you very much for sharing those important messages with us.
We should have had an honest conversation about what good energy policy in the state looked like that was totally divorced from a scandal-ridden piece of legislation like House Bill 6.
At this point, I think I would be shocked if there's not other folks that get a little dirty from this.
Now, it's been called the most elaborate and extensive bribery scandal in the history of Ohio politics, with $60 million in bribes paid by First Energy, one of the country's largest investor-owned electric systems, to influence legislation in Ohio to get their customers to bail out 2 failing nuclear power plants. But it extends beyond Ohio. So now we're 3 days into testimony in the federal racketeering and conspiracy trial of former Ohio Speaker of the House Larry Householder and lobbyist and former Ohio Republican Party Chair Matt Borges. And there have been fireworks, accusations coming from all sides, the judge admonishing Householder's team wondering if the judge is actually fit to be looking over this trial. If you need a primer on how we got here, you can watch my Legally Speaking special, where we shine a light on dark money. We talk with people in office when the bill was passed, guilty pleas, and what we know from First Energy admissions in order to avoid criminal charges themselves. That's on the WKYC Facebook page. Now, the American Heart Association is asking that you wear red to celebrate tomorrow as National Wear Red Day and raise awareness of how cardiovascular disease affects women. This month's theme is Be the Beat, to also encourage people to learn bystander CPR. And as we've seen in cases like Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, it can be the difference between life and death. I've got my red outfit picked out for tomorrow. Thank you very much. From the reminder for our senior correspondent for health, Monica Robbins. Now, this morning, Governor Mike DeWine took a trip to Lakewood High School to promote his new safety grant program. DeWine says $68 million is being distributed to 945 schools across Ohio for safety equipment like cameras, loudspeakers, exterior lighting, electronic door locks, and more. And Lakewood schools are receiving $1 million from that program. You can read up on the details on WKYC.com. Now, a group of high school students is getting support from a Hollywood star. Last week, Cardinal Local Schools in Middlefield canceled the high school's production of the musical, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. That's because the school officials said it's too vulgar. Modern Family's Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who was part of the original Putnam County Spelling Bee cast on Broadway, reacted to that news on TikTok.
But for me, it's beyond just being able to do the show. I want you to know that you all are enough. Whoever you are is enough. And I'm heartbroken for you.
What Ferguson is concerned about is that the show may have been canceled because it features 2 gay dads. He says he also wants to arrange a Zoom call with the students to show his support. Now, today is Groundhog Day, and most of you are familiar with the movie where the main character, Phil Connors, gets stuck living the same day over and over again. But there's an actual psychological phenomenon called Groundhog Day syndrome that makes you feel like you're living the same day over and over again, just like the movie. This happens when you do the same thing every day, go to the same workplace, sit at the same desk, basically running on autopilot. And it can lead to feeling burned out, bored, and even hopeless. Dr. Susan Albers from the Cleveland Clinic says trying something new is key to get by this.
Ask yourself this question. What is one thing that I do every day, without fail, that I can do with more purpose and meaning and more attention? It doesn't have to be anything grand. Little shifts can go a long way.
Now, these little shifts can be things like doing a puzzle, listening to a new song, adding a new desk decoration, or trying a new food. Even driving a different route to work can help. Lots of little tweaks there, but we can make that work. So to answer the big question, Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow in Pennsylvania this morning. So he's saying 6 more weeks of winter for us, and I can confirm our chief meteorologist, Betsy Kling, says that roughly lines up with astronomical spring. So looks like they're on the same page, maybe this one time. She posted on Instagram about it. It's cute. You should check it out. All right, now for our question of the day. It's a hot debate. How do you pronounce the abbreviation for Cleveland? Do you say Cle or do you say CLE? Mike Polk Jr. will be on our shows tonight talking with viewers that take part in a very special Cleveland event and to see what they have to say. Post your response to the poll on our What's New Facebook group, and we'll talk about it during What's New at 4 o'clock. I have to say, it's a big pet peeve for me when people say Cle. That's just my opinion. Unbiased, so I prefer CLE. All right, Clevelanders, you might see new life coming to East 4th Street. City Council's Development Committee signed off on a $1.65 million plan that would include creating Cleveland's first designated outdoor refreshment area, or DORA. That means people could buy alcoholic drinks and then freely move around East 4th with that drink. Now, the rest of Cleveland City Council still has to approve this in order for it to move forward. We'll see what happens there. This is really successful in Toledo. They've done a really nice job with it. People seem to like it. Thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. We'll see you back tomorrow with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio.